Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for having me here today. I was joking with Ron out in the hallway before I came in. I told him that my office staff says you never change your schedule for anything except golf. So Ron had asked me to introduce him, which I was honored that he was able to ask me to do that, because I've known him for about 18 or 19 years since I've worked at Edwin Shaw. The last 4 years really closely as a medical director at the facility. And he's really been an inspiration to all of us there for the work that he does. As you guys know, he's been a PGA professional, I believe, for over 30 plus some odd years. In December of this past year, 2014, it was the 25th anniversary at the Challenge Golf program at Edwin Shaw Hospital. And they changed the golf center's name to the Ron Tristano Golf Center, which was a great honor for all the dedication and work he'd done for us over the years. It was an unusual way how he started this program. He volunteered there to begin a program for patients with disability, working with our therapists to design this program for them. That was in, I believe, 1989, and in 1991 he became the actual professional there helping the patients with the disabilities. We built a golf course, or he started a golf course in 1991. It went under construction in February. It opened in the spring of 1992. It was the first golf course in the nation, not just the area, the nation, that was specifically designed for patients with handicaps and disabilities. Those disabilities can range from a multitude of things, from brain injury to stroke to spinal cord injuries to patients with learning disabilities. It even expanded over the years to adults and children with visual limitations. I believe in life we all strive to find our calling. I can honestly tell you that I believe Ron has not only found his calling, but he's fulfilled his calling in life. If there was a job meant for somebody, this job was meant for him, and he's done a wonderful job with all the people he's touched over the years, providing that service to those patients. I don't have to tell everybody in this room how difficult it is to learn a golf swing. You guys all know that from what you do in your profession. But can we imagine how hard that would be if you were teaching somebody that was maybe cognitively impaired from a stroke or a brain injury that couldn't process maybe the dynamics you were teaching them in a swing, teaching them to try and swing a golf club with either out the use of an arm that was either weakened by an injury or possibly taken, amputated, or trying to teach somebody how to swing a golf club that didn't have the balance to stand up or had impaired balance to stand up. So as I watched him over the years, and I've been very fortunate because I've had a front row seat to see some of the unbelievable accomplishments he's done with some of our patients, and that's entirely through the vision and the imagination of what he's done, adapting the golf game to help these patients with their needs. In rehabilitation, there's a quote that I always use. It's called the reality recovery. And the quote goes, "So I woke up today and I focused on what I can do instead of dwelling on what I can't." That's been Ron's mantra, I think, forever. He focuses these patients on getting them to believe in what they can do, not in what they can't do. And as I said, he's done an unbelievable job in doing that. I just wanted to give you a few examples of some of the patients that I've personally taken care of. I can give you lists and hundreds and thousands of people he's taken care of for me, but I'm just going to give you a handful, about 2 or 3 or 4 of them. First, probably about 6 months ago, I had a medical student with me making rounds in the hospital. I wanted him to see the Challenge Golf program. Ron comes out to our facility usually every other week or once a month to assist patients with disabilities, either helping with a golf swing, hitting a ball into the net, putting. We have a putting green out there. It's a great release for the patients that are really going through a difficult time to be able to do something, again, that they love to do. So I had this student, I said, just go watch this gentleman. He's going to work with Ron in a little bit. It was a 91-year-old gentleman who's legally blind, was injured, if you can believe it or not, in a skiing accident. He skis with a ski patrol blind. And he had a head injury, and I left the student. I had to go do some other things, and I said, I'll be back in about a half hour. And the student sat there in amazement as he watched this gentleman putt on about a 6-foot putting course. The therapist would put the ball down, tap it on his putter so he knew where it was at. He proceeded to watch this guy make about 3 or 6 6-foot putts, which that's pretty good for most of us sometimes in the room here. He then watched Ron help him with the swing, same type of situation, where they put the ball down, got him up, got his balance, and watched this guy hit balls in the net. It was actually a beautiful looking swing. When I came back, the medical student's jaw was on the ground. He couldn't believe what he just watched, and I said, this happens all the time. He was pretty impressed by what had happened. Another example is a gentleman I had back in the early 90s. He had a bad stroke. It affected his one side pretty badly. Was an owner of a company around here, avid golfer. Was really discouraged because he couldn't play the game of golf. I always wonder when I take care of some patients we have, you know, I'm an avid golfer myself. I love to play the game. If that was taken away from me, how that would affect me, because it's such a great thing that I do leisurely. I tell my wife often it's the only thing that has me relax in what I do. When I'm out in that golf course for, 3.5 hours, it's just the greatest thing in the world for me. But this gentleman was really distraught by that. He went and saw Ron. Ron worked with him. He's back to playing. He retired, he sold his business. He's back in North Carolina. And when I saw him at an outing that we have for Ron every year, he pulled me aside and he said, introducing me to Ron changed my life. He said, Ron gave my life back again. Those are incredibly powerful words for someone to say to you. And again, it's just a tribute to the work that Ron does. Had another gentleman who's was a 4 handicap in his day, was stricken by a different type of Parkinson's disease, which really limited his ability to talk to people and his physical function. He was working with Ron with the Challenge Golf program. I saw in the paper one day in the community section, there was a picture of him and he had a hole-in-one. So I picked up the phone and I called him. Never had a hole-in-one in his life. And I was talking to his wife, and she said, I'll give you the phone to him. And I know he can't talk to me, but she put the phone up to his ear. And I just congratulated him for having a hole-in-one. I said, all of us play golf our whole lives. Sometimes people never get one of those, and you have one, and you're stricken with this awful disorder and your disease. Talked to him for a couple minutes. I could hear him in the background trying to talk. I knew he wouldn't be able to get any meaningful words out. But his wife got back on the phone with me and said, he's smiling ear to ear, and he's actually crying. Again, powerful things that Ron has done. And lastly, and one that's really important to me, because it's my wife's husband, or my secretary's husband. I better check my wife. Want to call my wife right now, see where she's at? It was my secretary's husband. He was involved in a very serious industrial accident back in the early 90s. Hand was caught in a press. I think he had between 13 and 15 surgeries on his left hand. And I was on him I take care of him, I was on him for 6 or 7 years just saying, please go see Ron. Just go see Ron. And he would hold his hand up that was kind of mangled and tell me, what is he going to do for me? I said, just go see him. If it doesn't work, that's fine, just go see him. He went and saw Ron, took a few lessons. Ron fabricated him a glove where he put elastic on a band around his fingers that he was able to wrap around and hold the club in place and play and swing. This obviously excited him, so I came into work a couple of years ago, and on my desk was his scorecard for the first round he had played in 20 years. I called him up. He was happy as can be. I said, how'd it go? He said, it hurt like hell, but it was awesome, because he was playing golf again. I saw him the other day in the office, Ron. Gary told me to tell you congratulations. Thanks to the world of you. His wife told me to thank you for making her a golf widow again, because Gary's playing every weekend that he can play now. So as you can see, by the passion and dedication of this man, and what he's done has impacted the lives of so many people. He allows patients that we take care of to have a sense of worth, a sense of accomplishment, and believing in his mantra that we got to focus on what we can do and what we can't do. For those of you that know Ron, he is a kind, warm gentleman with a huge heart. I have the utmost respect for him, for all that he does for us at the hospital, for all he does for my patients for many years. And it's been a privilege for me to have a front row seat to watch it live in action. I hope I have a front row seat for as long as he wants to do this, because I enjoy every minute of it. His work truly inspires me. It inspires our staff. It inspires me to be a better person, a better physician. It inspires our therapists to get these patients that have had traumatic injuries back up so maybe Ron can get their hands on them and get their lives back together for them as much as he can. In closing, I looked at that list of the previous inductees, and not to slight anybody because every name on that list is important, but there were some names that, I don't care if you're from Northeastern Ohio, just in general, these names would be known around the country, such as Byron Nelson, Tommy Armour, Herman Kaiser, Denny Shute, Charlie Sifford. It gives me great pleasure to put Ron's name in with those men, and all the other inductees put their name right next to their colleagues where he rightfully belongs. So it's my pleasure to introduce my friend, a wonderful man who has impacted the lives of countless people, into the induction, the 2015 Northern Ohio Hall of Fame, Mr. Ron Tristano.
Thank you all very much. I don't really know how to follow that. I'm the luckiest man in the room. The past 25 years, I have been helped by so many people and so many organizations that believed in the mission of Edwin Shaw. One of the things that happened to me when I first started working at Edwin Shaw, everywhere I would go, there was nothing but positive about the outcomes that people had, their family and friends, when they went to Edwin Shaw. And that has certainly continued over the years. People trusted Edwin Shaw. When the golf program started, they trusted the fact that this could be done. This was something that wasn't being done throughout the country. It was something new to convince people that they could play golf from a seated position, could play golf leaning on a cart, could play golf with one hand. But because it was Edwin Shaw, they trusted it. They had been a patient there, so when the therapist said, why don't you come and try golf? We're going to start a golf program. And it was a natural. There were some very special people that were visionaries at that time that became Edwin Shaw Foundation board members. People like Joe Henninger, some of you know from Portage Country Club, and from Fairlawn. Nick Andrew was a local attorney that believed in golf, and we had been receiving some grants for some of our other programs from what was then the World Series of Golf. And those folks believed in Edwin Shaw, and when they wanted to start a golf program, the funds raised, what was then the Akron Golf Charities, we were able to get grants to start our golf program. So belief in something, belief in somebody is really important. I don't think there's any greater feeling that an individual can have when you know that people believe in you. I want to thank Dr. Hack for coming out today, and I know he has an incredible schedule. He has been a tremendous champion for the Challenge Golf program, not only encouraging his patients to come and see me, but helping to put together a very large fundraiser that keeps our program moving forward. He is the chairman of that group, and he is very influential in the community every time he gets a chance promoting the golf program. And I feel good about that, especially because the golf program is an extension of what goes on at Edwin Shaw. It's a very special place, and people get better there. I want to thank him also. His most important role is leading the finest group of physicians, nurses, therapists, and caregivers at Edwin Shaw that give their patients the opportunity to recover to their fullest and enjoy the greatest possible quality of life. Without his work, without the work of the people of Shaw, I would never get to do what I'm able to do. It's a team effort. I enjoy going up there every time I get a chance. Normally we don't see a lot of patients till they're at an outpatient level, but it's really great to go up and work with the inpatients who maybe have to stand with the assistance of a therapist because they're at the beginning stages of their recovery. But to put a golf club in their hand, if they played golf before, give them that kind of hope that there is a future for them. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the therapists, and it means a lot to the nurses. A few weeks ago, I was working, and we set up a net in a little courtyard when it's fit to be outside, and there was a patient there, and the nurses were around, and the patient stood up, and we had them hit golf balls, and they did well. The amazing part was to see the nurses in tears, because they had seen the person come in about 10 days earlier, unable to move at all. So during that time period, the work that had been done allowed this person to be able to stand up with assistance and hit a golf ball. So it's not just, it's beyond the clinical care that they give there. It's the compassion and the energy that they have and the caring that they have. And that's what really makes the facility what it is. We were blessed in 2005 to be taken over by Akron General, and they have that passion. They see our mission, and we're blessed to be part of them, and they help us through the tournament, and people like Dr. Hack and provide golf instruction and our facility. We have a 3-hole golf course with 3 sets of tees that can be played as 9 holes. And it takes a lot of care, and we have a lot of volunteers. But this fundraiser puts us over the top, and we're able to continue to offer our classes to people without worrying about whether they can pay or not. I want to say congratulations to all the junior golfers that were here. The future of golf is in good hands with you folks. All the folks here that are in the PGA that run those junior tournaments, especially our staff here, and then all the junior golf leaders. I'd like to congratulate all the other award winners for such a fabulous job you do. I'd like to thank Mike Heisterkamp and the committee for selecting me. We're blessed here to have a group of individuals who have their own jobs, that yet are willing to take time away to help put together awards and programs like this for the rest of us members. I want to thank Dominic Antonucci for nominating me. Just being nominated by Dominic would have been enough reward for me. My family, the most important thing in the world to me, they're here today. My wife Patty, my sons Ron and Evan, my grandchildren Cecilia and Maxwell. Patty has not only supported my work over the years as a golf professional, as we all know, the long hours, but she's been an active participant in our events and helping at the golf facility and helping me with everyone else to build the program. And I couldn't have done it without her. My sons and my daughter, by the way, couldn't be here today. She is at graduate school at Southern Illinois, and she was a recipient of a PGA scholarship her first year, so I'm very grateful to the PGA for that. She was a National Merit Scholar award winner. Must have got her brains from her mother. But she couldn't be here today because she's about 10 hours away. All my children got to grow up at the golf course. I remember sitting in the trailer that we had for the first couple of years, waiting for Nick Price to come, because some of our marketing people had met him out at the Bridgestone tournament, and he just won the PGA championship. And yet he was going to take time to come over and see our facility. And Nick came, it was raining, and he just finished his Friday round. And he came back in '95 to help us dedicate the facility along with Ken Venturi. So we've been very blessed. I could stand here all day and talk about all the people who have helped. My children were not only came to the facility, but they picked up golf balls, they helped assist with the classes, and now my grandchildren are getting to come and tee up balls for some of our students and participate in playing our junior golf. And learn, we've all learned, and my children and grandchildren have learned what true courage is. They see every day when our students come there. I began my career as an apprentice to Paul Parsons. I was a caddy. My dad caddied during the Depression. My uncles and my brothers caddied. Paul had worked for Ben Hogan when Hogan was playing out of Hershey Country Club. And he was a lot like Hogan. He was a taskmaster. I remember he wanted me to fill the golf cart tires to 32 pounds or something one time. And I filled them up and I touched them. It felt hard enough to me. I'm a 15, 16-year-old kid. And he got all over me. I can't tell you what he said about actually using the tire gauge. But it was a great way to learn. And it's the respect that I saw from the members there. I love playing golf, but I became a golf professional because I saw what he did for the members, how they revered him, how they respected what he did. It was, he created opportunities for them to have fun. And so I became an apprentice working for him. And it was a great experience. I moved on in 1980 to Mogador. And my father passed away at the end of January last year. But he helped me borrow $10,000 to buy the golf shop at Mogador in 1980 because he believed in me and believed in what I was trying to do. He never made $10,000 a year in his life, but he believed in me. And I'm sorry he's not here, but I know he and my mother both are smiling down, but I couldn't have gotten to Mogador without him, and I wouldn't have been in the Akron area. I ended up going to Chippewa, and I was there in 84 through 90. And in 1989, I got a call to help work with patients at Edwin Shaw.
My name is Ron Tristano. I'm a PGA professional, and I am the manager of the Akron General Edwin Shaw Rehab Institute Challenge Golf Program. One of the goals of the golf program right from the very beginning was to have a golf training center where people could hit balls and see how much of their ability they could regain and have a place to play. The golf course is a 3-hole golf course, basically with 3 greens. We have 3 sets of tees on each hole, so you can play 9 holes. The greens are big enough to have 3 flags, so each tee box represents a different hole, and they range from 60 yards up to 150 yards. So you can play from whatever comfort zone that is comfortable for you. Everyone gets an individual evaluation by me. We train everyone before we take them over on the golf course, and we work towards getting them to play 9 holes and getting in our league.
I called Ron in April, and he said, come up. I came up, and he worked on me one-on-one and got me, I started playing off the cart. I still play off the cart because my balance isn't correct, but he got me to play, be able to play off the cart and just swinging it and hitting the ball to start out with, because, like I said, it was my goal to play ever since I lost my leg, and he's really helped me do it. He's the best instructor I've ever come across. He's such a fine gentleman, and just everybody loves him.
We've worked with people with just about any type of disability. People come to us who've had strokes, been in car accidents and maybe had a head trauma as a result. People who've had an amputation, whether it's a leg or an arm, through an accident, or diabetes is a big factor for a lot of people. Most people who've had a physical difficulty in their lives have lost the opportunity maybe to work or do some of the activities that they've done in the past.
Golf is all about strategy. You hit the ball, you go find it. Now you got to decide on which of your 14 clubs you're going to use, how much energy you need to put on, how hard you have to swing. So you're constantly giving your brain exercise. So for somebody like a brain injury like I had, it gives me a chance to constantly do a exercise with my brain to get more confidence and to test my limits, what I can or can't do. This is like the proving ground for what you learn in therapy. You get your skills and you get your confidence back, and then the golf course gives you a chance to go out independently and actually use it like a test track.
So each individual has to be evaluated based on their balance, what their stamina is, what their capability is. We have the capability here to give someone with very significant disability an opportunity to really do something positive through adapting the golf game to meet what their physical capabilities are. Many of our people have mobility issues, and they need to either drive near the tees or greens or on them. whether they're using a regular golf cart or one of our four-wheel scooters. The first thing they are able to do here is hit a golf ball and feel that feeling of hitting the ball and doing something physical again and doing something positive again, focusing on their ability as opposed to their disability.
We've got people here with double amputees, people with MS, people are struggling with all kinds of disabilities, strokes, and just to see what they are able to overcome in their life has been fantastic. It's been an encouragement to me to say, you know, I can go further. Yeah, I've fallen a couple times, but you know what? There's always been people around to help you get back up.
So our biggest job here is to help people set goals that are realistic for themselves, that they can look to and work towards and be happy about accomplishing. I think it'll give you an opportunity to refocus on the positive again, to give you an opportunity to relearn a game that you played before, or learn a game for the first time, to have a physical activity, to have a sport to play, to get out with your family and friends again in a social setting, in the fresh air, and not worry about what you can't do, but to start focusing on what you can do. And I think your whole attitude towards life will change in every aspect if you come out and give this golf a try.